What if the belief that you are the one who has to heal your entire bloodline is actually the heaviest chain your lineage placed on you? What if the real cycle breaker is not the one who carries the pain of the past, but the one who finally decides to put it down? Because over the past month, I had to confront a very uncomfortable truth in my own life. But before we get into it, Sanbonani, Dumelang, Togozani, sending you all love, because love is the highest, and I mean highest, vibration. If it is your first time here, I'm Dr. Mmatshepo Gaspa Mazibuko, a highly sought after spiritual consultant in womb and gut wellness, energy alignment, and soul-led wealth strategy, helping women escape being sacrificed at the altar of masculine success so they can live their wildest dreams in a calm, easeful, and pleasurable way. Welcome to another SoulCast episode. Now, before we get into today's conversation, I want to start with something honest. You may have noticed I went quiet for about a month, and it wasn't because I had nothing to say, but it was because the last question I asked forced me to sit with something very personal in my own life. About a month ago, in the WhatsApp channel, I asked a question. The question was simple, but the answers were profound. I asked, do you feel like you're the one in your family who is here to end the cycle? And the responses were very powerful. Most people said, yes, I've always known it, while others said, I'm starting to realize it. And a few people said something very honest, I just want to live a peaceful life. And when I saw those responses, I had to pause, because suddenly the question was no longer about the podcast, it was about me. Now, this is the reflection that changed everything for me. Where did this belief come from that some of us are supposed to heal our entire bloodline? Where did we learn that our lives must carry the weight of generations? Because the more I sat with it, the more I realized something uncomfortable. Sometimes the belief that we are the cycle breaker is actually another burden we place on ourselves, another responsibility, another expectation, another form of suffering. Think about it. If you believe you are responsible for ending generational trauma, then suddenly your life becomes a mission. You then carry your mother's wounds, your grandmother's wounds, your family's silence, their struggles, their survival patterns, and before you realize it, your life stops being your life. It becomes a responsibility. And I had to ask myself something very honest. What if the belief that I'm here to heal, quote unquote, everything, is just another way of carrying the past? Because here's what I started to realize. If you continue carrying the wounds of your lineage, then the lineage is still heavy. The pain is still alive. The struggle is still alive. But something powerful happens the moment you stop carrying it. What if the real cycle break looks like this? You actually choose joy. You choose peace. You choose pleasure. You choose abundance. You choose a life that is light. Not because you healed everything, but because you refuse to keep suffering on behalf of the past. Sometimes we romanticize being the chosen one, the one who will break the patterns, the one who will heal the lineage. But the truth is, no one asked us to carry that. We decided to. And sometimes the most radical act of healing is simply living a beautiful life. Which brings me to another change. Up until now, our SoulCast episodes have been released on Mondays, but I've had to make a change. And now going forward, our episodes will be released on Wednesdays. And this change is personal to me because Wednesday is the day I was born. It is the day my life began, and I want this podcast to arrive from a place of alignment. not obligation. So from now on, SoulCast episodes are going to arrive every Wednesday. So now I want to ask you something honestly. Not from a place of pressure, of course, but from freedom. Are you here to end the cycles of your lineage, or are you simply here to live a life so free that the cycle cannot continue through you? Because sometimes the deepest healing is not carrying the past, but it is putting it down. So before we close, I want to ask you something honestly. If you removed the responsibility of healing your entire family line, what kind of life would you finally allow yourself to live? And I'd genuinely love to hear your answers. So share your comments, share your reflections, drop us an email. Would love to hear from you, because sometimes the moment we speak the truth out loud, we realize how free we actually are. See you again in the next episode. Ashe.